Hi guys, Simon Trizelian here. I want to do a few videos today, which is a lot going on in the world. So they took out Sinwar, the head of Hamas. It was only going to be a matter of time. And a lot of people are asking, well, where does this put things? Now, obviously all of the doves in the government's going to try and work this into some form of ceasefire, which essentially just allows Hamas to reform and to rearm, and that's probably not going to be what the Israelis want. So where does this put them? See, the problem is with terrorist groups, and I've worked counter-terrorist for a long time, and terrorist groups are usually based upon identity. Okay, so whereas with the normal army has a very clear command structure, you know, the generals at the top, you have your officers in the middle, and your NCOs at the bottom, and therefore if one of them gets taken out, someone just steps into the place, and they've had many years of being able to understudy the next rank up. I had this even in my own unit. I lost my captain, and as a sergeant major I had to take over the unit for the best part of 6 months. But because I knew what he did and how he did it, it was as easy for me to just step in. That's not necessarily the case in terrorist groups. So with the terrorist groups, you know, and I mean, considering one of the first ones I was working against, apart from the IRA, was Baader Meinhof Group and Abu Nidal. All of these, you know, when you had like Fatah with Yasser Arafat, you know, they were based around a personality, a revolutionary, you know, like a Che Guevara. Even when you look at communism, you know, people talk about Marxism and Trotskyism and things like this. So they're always based around an identity, a personality, a charismatic figure that epitomizes the revolution. And all the other terrorists just, you know, come in lockstep with them. So if you take them out, if you take out the actual personality, you take out the identity of the group. And that becomes a real problem for the group because they don't have a clear command structure. We're seeing this now with Hezbollah, we're seeing this with Hamas. And therefore, what I feel is going to happen, you're going to get arbitrary retaliation. Okay, we just saw this today in Hezbollah. They fired another 120 rockets into Israel, even flew a drone to Netanyahu's house. So they still have capacity, that is without a doubt. They've still got probably 100,000 rockets squirreled away, even though the Israelis are, you know, bombing the crap out of them right now. So you are going to see retaliatory things. People just don't pack up just because the leader dies. And then you get this whole range of revenge attacks. So sometimes it can actually go up. But the actual combat effectiveness of those terrorist groups is forever degraded. And what you normally find, which is what we found with the Palestinians, you know, it was often a joke that if you get, you know, 4 Palestinians together, you get 5 groups. You know, because they continually change the names of the groups. You know, everything, you know, between whether it's the, you know, Popular Front, the Revolutionary Front or whatever, and then you just mix and match the names and you get all these different things. So I think that what you're going to have, you know, until the Palestinian cause is settled, and it hasn't been settled for many thousands of years, so I don't give it any chance of being settled probably in the next few years, you're going to get probably a rise of slightly different groups, but all with the same basic aim, and then they're just going to wait for some person to put their hand up and say, right, it's on me. What Israel has done, though, very effectively, because they understand this, they've been working against these groups for a long time, is that they understand that if you take out the personalities, then you cause massive disruption within the terrorist cell itself. And that's what's happening. And this is why no one's really putting their hand up and say, hey, I want to be the next leader of Hamas, or I want to be the next leader of Hezbollah. You know, that has largely stopped for good reason. So that's what's going to go on there. Down south with the Houthis, they do have a more military side of things because the Houthis are a de facto government based out of Sana'a in Yemen. So they've had a lot of years of actually being the government, pretty much like Hamas did in Gaza. So you're going to see that the Houthis, no one really knows who's in charge of the Houthis. He's not a no name. No American knows who that is. Probably in the intelligence agencies they do, but there's no readily identifiable person. There's no Osama bin Laden. There's no Mohammed Gaddafi, for instance. So the Houthis is like fighting an actual state, a small state. And that will continue, and that's one of the reasons why Israel has largely stayed out of it. They're quite happy to allow the Americans and the British to try and take on the Houthis, which actually relieves their efforts so that they can concentrate very much on the counter-terrorist side, which is actually much more politically expedient. Israel right now doesn't want to get into a major conflict in the region with another state like Iran. Now that's going to be subject to another video, because I think there's going to be some interesting stuff going on there. But that's that one for now. I'll speak to you soon. This is Simon Trizelian, the voice of reason. I'll catch you soon. Bye bye now. Out to you.